A lot of people believe that because much of the world outside of Europe and China don't have regulations, that we will be a dumping ground for rubbish cars that pollute really badly. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Australia, Africa, Asia, and South America apparently will become a dumping ground for high polluting cars. Now, Australia already is a dumping ground for high polluting cars. Guys, on the way home from, where was I today? Went to my cousin's house and drove back, and I was behind all these pickup trucks, utes, that were just pouring black diesel smoke into the air. It was just like, yeah, I mean, clearly the regulations on these cars, whatever is going on, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think Australia is clearly a dumping ground for cars that pollute really badly already. Countries making not much effort, or in Australia's case, almost no effort, to decarbonise when it comes to emissions from cars, will end up with dirty, new and used imports that are not welcome elsewhere in the world, say experts. Now, this has been an ongoing topic of discussion here in Australia, and of course in a number of other countries. It's been an issue that I believe is really coming to a head lately. 2 centuries ago, Australia was a dumping ground for British and Irish criminals. That's basically where I come from. My heritage, at least one side of my family, they come from the UK, from England. And more than 160,000 of these criminals were shipped here down under before the last convict boat docked in January of 1868. A long time ago, sure, but there's still a lot of criminals here, trust me. But now the country, Australia at least, is at risk of becoming a dumping ground for undesirable vehicles. And this has been going on for a while now because we have very little emissions controls. Australia, Russia, Turkey, South Africa, India, and other countries are being warned that their reluctance to switch to EVs will result in them becoming a home for high polluting cars. I mean, give you an idea here of the actual truth behind this. It sounds a bit shock jock like, it sounds like it's exaggerating, but here's some truth for you. Volkswagen don't sell a single electric car in Australia. Toyota don't sell a single electric car in Australia. Ford, they're about to sell the Ford Mustang EV for $80,000 in Australia, the cheapest version. So you can see that most manufacturers are just not taking Australia remotely seriously. It's really just BYD, Hyundai, Kia, and Tesla. London-based think tank Carbon Tracker says that as China, Europe, and North America bring in tighter regulations forcing drivers to make the move to EVs, automakers will rely on nations with weak or non-existent decarbonisation targets as locations to offload their old polluting technology and basically cause a problem in these countries. Don't know about you, but if you look at photos or videos, if you look at, say, for example, there was a cricket World Cup in India within the past few days, and they show images of the sky, and you can just see this smog just everywhere. And it's like that in Thailand as well, in Bangkok in particular. There's a lot of places where that's what it's like living in a city. And that stuff causes cancer, among a host of other serious illnesses. Carbon Tracker highlights India, Australia, Thailand, Turkey, Indonesia, Malaysia, Russia, and South Africa as countries that have made little or no effort to fill their roads with cleaner cars, and also warns that those countries will find it harder to import used EVs from more eco-minded countries because those countries will be pushing recycled initiatives that will keep pre-owned electric cars within their countries. And that's actually true. Those countries are now, today, putting in place a situation where you buy a used electric car, the government will give you a little incentivization to buy that car. In Australia, EV incentives have now pretty much been cancelled. Queensland is probably the only real place where there's a big population base where you still get an EV incentive. So basically, Australia really isn't making any serious effort to adopt electric cars. So they've got a real point here. The report says that countries without plans in place to end the sale of gasoline, petrol, and diesel vehicles won't just fail to contribute to reducing climate change or to clean up their own air for their own citizens, but could be locking themselves into a loop that will hurt them financially. Africa, for instance, spends $80 billion every year on importing fuel. But Carbon Tracker estimates that Africa, Asia, South America, just put those three together, combined, they could save more than $100 billion on fuel imports and improve their trade balance significantly if they introduce policies that promoted the take-up of electric vehicles. Now, this is a concept I talk about often. Countries can reduce their reliance on places like Saudi Arabia, Russia, places producing oil. If they have electric cars, they can just charge them using electricity from the sun, the wind, hydro, whatever that may be. It's so much better than having to import oil from these basically oil cartels. Carbon Tracker recommends that governments in those regions help speed up the shift by introducing tougher emissions limits, limiting used car imports or relatively new vehicles, removing tariffs on EVs, and promoting the local manufacture of electric cars. Now, all of these things should be happening, but unfortunately, in most of the countries I've just listed, they aren't. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.